This is the High School Football America podcast for April the 24th, 2024. I'm Jeff Fisher. The High School Football America podcast is brought to you by GameStrat, America's premier sideline instant replay system with outstanding reliability, faster speed than Huddle Sideline. Plus, GameStrat has awesome customer service. Yes, coaches tell me all the time, the ones that have made the switch, the reason they made the switch, GameStrat talks to them. They pick up the phone and solve the problems. Not that there's a lot of problems, but they're there when you need them. And GameStrat has different plans priced right for every coach's budget. Don't forget, when you talk to the fine folks at GameStrat, make sure you let them know that you're a High School Football America fan. You heard it here on High School Football America, and they will give you a friends and family discount. To get a demo, go to GameStrat.com or click on the GameStrat banner ad located on every page of HighSchoolFootballAmerica.com. Heading to St. Louis, Missouri today on Championship Chat here on the High School Football America podcast. And Brennan, what a job he has done at Cardinal Ritter. Back-to-back state champs in the state of Missouri. What makes it real interesting, we're going to talk about it, it's a smaller school. They won a Class 3 title a couple of years ago, and last year went all the way up to Class 5 and won another one. They got a 28-game win streak going on. They were number 243 in the High School Football America 300 national rankings last year, powered by NFL Play Football. We're also going to talk about his wife, who's a pretty darn good coach, too, in track and field. You probably didn't expect that, Coach, but I did my research. Thanks for taking the time with us today.
No, appreciate it. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be able to have dialogue. I think so often coaches kind of shy away from things like this, but I think all this is great, especially for the betterment of the sport.
Well, you know, what we try to do here is tell the story of America through the lens of high school football. And if we can, along the way here during this interview, if we can promote you, your coaches, your program, and the school there in the community, then we've done a pretty good job. So let's, kind of get things started with, I threw some numbers out there, which are outstanding. One of the ones that I saw hop off of a page, too, is during this 28-game run, you've outscored opponents 1,270 to 305. That's insane. Yeah. But let's look back before we look into 2024 and a possible three-peat. You've had some time now, obviously. What are we at here? Almost 5 months since you won the title. When you think back to that championship and the second in a row, what puts a smile on your face?
Well, what puts a smile on my face is that really seeing hard work pays off, right? So often us as coaches and leaders and everybody, we always say hard work pays off. But unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't, right? It takes a little bit more than hard work. It takes more, a lot more consistency, a lot more dedication, a lot more sacrifice. So just to see the guys be able to do those three things I just named was a plus. And that was very, very beneficial in us being successful the last year as well as two.
And let's talk about what I mentioned as well. You are a smaller school. You won the Class 3A title in 22. You move up to 5. That's no small feat by any stretch of the imagination. For the listeners around America, explain why you went up. Was it a formula that pushed you up? Some states have that. Some you like to play up. So how did you guys go from 3 to 5 in the matter of 1 year?
Well, actually, it is a formula here in Missouri. We have what they call the success factor, and it kind of goes back maybe to 4 or 5 years ago. This is I'm going on year 5, so I've been blessed since I've been here. Made it to the state semifinals every year since I've been here. Won 4 district titles. So when you do things like that, they tally 8 points. Now keep in mind the success factor is only for private and charter schools. It's not for public schools. So depending on how many points you have over a certain amount of years, you can get bumped up. Now, what makes you bump up 2 classes like we did, because no other school in the state has ever done this and won, was that our enrollment. We had a spike in our enrollment as well, so that bumped us up as well. So, okay. Those are things that we can't control. So those are things that we didn't harp on as a team. We just made sure that we executed and did what we have to do. And like I said, when you have the dedication, the sacrifice, and the consistency, typically the outcome is pretty good.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And your trip wasn't that far to come there. You were part of a pretty darn good program that's always in our national rankings. You were at East St. Louis. Obviously, no stranger to success there. Was there stuff that you brought over from there to build the program here at Cardinal Ritter?
You know what? It's a lot of things that I learned from Coach Sunk, but I am my own person, so it's a lot of things I observed while I was there, a lot of things I learned, and just the hard work and the consistency that I witnessed him do day in and day out, week in and week out, that I kind of brought with me, and it kind of translated and transitioned to exactly what I wanted to do here. And it worked, just getting the kids to be able to understand and buy into exactly what I was trying to deliver. Mm-hmm. And the kids, they bought in, and they was very accepting. And we just kind of been successful, not just on the field, but off the field as well, in the community, in the classroom, things like that.
Love to hear that it's not more than it's more than X's and O's and wins and losses. Brennan Spain is on the line, Cardinal Ritter's head coach in St. Louis, back-to-back state champs, and coach, obviously with the HC title there, you get all the accolades, and as I always say to everybody that I'm interviewing, you also get some of the stuff that gets thrown at you too. You got to deal with, but you get to do the interviews, right? You probably got a pretty good staff under there, and I like to under you there, so I like to give each coach that I'm talking on championship chat a few moments here to talk about their staff and how important that was in the championship run.
Well, so my first 2 years I had a staff that it didn't work out as well. So after the 2021 season, I kind of revamped it, and I got the best group of guys possible. These guys bought in. These guys understood the mission. They understood the goal. And the only thing they did was follow my lead, right? I'm not a micromanager, so I allow these guys to bring their personality, bring their character, and be able to put an imprint on the players as well. So this is a great thing, and just a side note here for any coaches out there that's looking to be a head coach. The most important thing, and I had to learn this kind of the hard way, the most important thing is putting together staff. You want to make sure you have high character guys on your staff, not necessarily the best X's and O's, because those are going to come as you learn, as you perfect your craft. And I'm just talking about good character, high-end guys who can help you.
Good advice. And, I'm not sure how big your staff is, but let's throw some names in there. OCDC, get some of them in there so those guys will pat you on the back and say, hey, Coach, thanks for giving me a shout-out.
Oh, no, the offensive coordinator is myself. I coordinate the offense along with my assistant offensive coordinator and a quarterback coach, as well as Kirk Leopold. My defensive coordinator is B.J. Hodgins, who's done a great job on the back end, and we just kind of tackle it as a whole, right? I know guys have those titles, but when it comes to game planning and prepping and planning, we all have inputs, because I want every coach on my staff to feel important. I tell my players all the time, many hands lighten the load, right? That's the same thing for the coaches, right? We need all hands on deck. We need everybody viewing and breaking down the film. We need things like that, so it'll all be beneficial.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And you've got a lot of talent there. You had a lot on this last team, some graduation. You've got a lot coming back from what I saw from a note from you. Probably puts a smile on your face. But let's talk about some of the leaders. We can't do the whole roster, but who were some of the leaders on that team that led you to back-to-back?
We're talking about Illinois commit, QB Carson Boyd, one of the top receivers in the country in the Midwest, as well as Jerion Miller, one of the top running backs in the country, Jamarion Parker. We have a good veteran young group coming back up front. Even though we lost 4 guys up front, this particular group coming up now is got a lot of reps last year, and they're hungry to get their opportunity to be productive. On the defensive side of the ball, we have Vinaj Cobb, one of our leaders on the back end, Antonio Juju Parker, who's another one. We have Bryce Gray up front, who's a real great technician at that 3-tech. We have Charles Brooks, who's a Northern Illinois commit at DN. So we have some guys that are coming back. We have some guys who understand the process and how to get this thing done, and we have guys who are ready to take on a leadership role when you have incoming freshmen coming in. just the beauty of it, we have sophomores on the roster who's never lost a high school game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not to brag or boast or anything like that, but, they just understand the commitment. They understand the standard and the guidelines we have here.
Hey, a 0 in the L column is a 0 in the L column. That ain't bragging. I mean, you can't argue with statistics and facts, right? Coach Brennan Spain.
No doubt.
Brennan Spain on the line with us. Cardinal Ritter, back-to-back state champs, will bring a 28-game win streak into the 2024 season. And Coach, I can't remember the last time we had a coach on from the state of Missouri, the Show Me State, and you're showing them there, obviously, how football gets played at the high school level. I'm going to have you put on an ambassador hat here. We all know that a few years back, Missouri got into the SEC, so we know a little bit more about Mizzou, obviously that. But talk a little bit about high school football in general in the state of Missouri and its growth and where you feel it is as a whole.
Well, high school football here in the state of Missouri is on the rise. I think a lot of college coaches are really taking notice the talent we have here, the grit and hard work. This isn't a finesse city. This isn't a finesse state. These young men day in and day out put the work in. During the course of the weekend, these guys put the work in, and we're just as good as any other state. The difference is between us and maybe a state down south or out west is possibly the resources and the attention, right? Mm-hmm. But just sitting back and just been watching this thing over the years, the growth and the development of players and all that stuff. I mean, we're on the rise. I mean, it's not a college coach in the country that don't come through Cardinal Ritter I don't have a relationship with, and they tell me all the time how St. Louis is really turning up, and this is one of the areas and spots that a lot of coaches are trying to get into and trying to get players from.
Man, some great things being done there at the school by you and by your staff, by the administrators. It's a team effort, obviously. I joked at the beginning that I did my research, and I found out you may not be the best coach in the Spain family. I mean, I know you've got two, but if I read correctly, and I think I did, your wife Tiffany has 3 straight girls track and field state championships, and then we'll get to your daughter and Kendall in a little bit. But I mean, tell me a little bit about the coaching. What is it? What do you guys drink? What do you eat? What makes you good coaches?
You know what? And it's everything that we put up on our players, we put up on ourselves as coaches. It's the commitment. It's the sacrifice. I tell people all the time, my wife and I, we haven't been on vacation in probably about 5 or 6 years, right? Because of the work that we put in. And keep in mind, this is the life we chose, right? So we're just committed to our craft. We committed to developing young men on the field, and for her, young women on the track. Just being that person there for them, just showing them how to go about things, just developing them. And that's all it's about, just the developmental part. So
do you ever share notes? I mean, obviously 2 different sports, but I mean, do you ever check in with Tiffany and say, hey, Tiff, this? Or she ever check with you and say, hey, what do you think of this? Any of that going on?
All the time. All the time. That's the beneficial of being able to having somebody you can communicate with who understands the drive and the mission, right? Just kind of blessed, conversations at the dinner table with us is probably a little bit different than the typical household because of everything that we do, but nevertheless, man, it's a great opportunity. She's on a mission, man. She's dialed in right now. It's her time. So, she's all focused in. She's trying to get number 4, which is extremely hard. Each year has its own, even though you have the same characters, the same people, each year has a different identity, and it takes a little time to get that identity together. So,
No, makes sense. That's the beauty of high school sports in general. And I mentioned your daughter Kendall. Let's see, 3 golds and a silver last year. That's something you can just agree on as mom and dad.
Yeah.
Tell me about your daughter. How good is she?
Man, she's great. She's striving for excellence. She's striving for perfection, man. She's one of the top hurdlers in the country. In the 2025 class, we have had home visits already with several high-end schools. Matter of fact, she just received the invitation to the Brooks Invitational in Seattle here in June. So she's on a trajectory. She's heading into the direction that she wants to go, and she's another who works hard, who's committed, and everything is paying off, right? And like I shared with you earlier, sometimes hard work doesn't always pay off. we're just blessed that we've been beneficial with the hard work paying off.
No doubt. And for all you tuning in right now and hearing us talk track and field, don't worry. This is High School Football America. We're going to get back to some football here, Cardinal Ritter style in St. Louis, Missouri, and back-to-back state champs, looking at a three-peat. And we just kind of talked about it, Coach, right? The beauty of high school is it changes. I mean, you're still
Absolutely.
Same program, same football field, all that good stuff. It's the same every year, but every 4 years or so, you're going to lose a player or three, and you got to figure out the personality there. One of the biggest things you might have now with your staff is making sure kids don't get complacent, right? Especially those guys with zeros in the L column after 2 years. What's kind of the message that you're using here in the spring and into the summer and into the fall to make sure these guys got their heads screwed on straight?
So the message is like we're always chasing perfection, right? We're always chasing the next buzz, and the thing is that we're always trying to be historical. No one in the St. Louis area, metropolitan area, has won 3 straight consecutive state football championships, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to drive, and we're trying to not to be normal. In order for us not to be normal, we have to do unnormal things. We have to do abnormal things. So we're just kind of working extra harder because we know that with the schedule we have lined up this year, it's going to be tough. We have the toughest schedule in the state of Missouri this year, and it was done like that for a reason, just to put a little pressure on these guys, just to put us in uncomfortable environments. So when the playoffs come, we have seen every style, form of football during those previous 9 weeks.
Yeah, no, I looked at your schedule. It's a darn good one, and one of the it's not a drawback. That's the word I'm using right now, but I know this from all the good programs around the country. Right, when you start winning, not everybody wants to play you. You're obviously right on the border there with Illinois. You got Arkansas down the road. Yeah. Are you thinking at some point that you might be kind of ramping the schedule up here to maybe take on some of these national guys that are around you, those guys of the national power, help you out in the strength of schedule with the High School Football America 300?
Correct. That's exactly what we're doing, and we did a little bit of that this year. We opened up with Jackson, who made it to the state quarterfinals here in Missouri, who's a 6A school, and week 2 we go up to Joliet. I'm sorry, we go up to I'm sorry, I'm going blank right now. But we go up there and we play the Class 4 state champions in the state of Illinois, who has won it. He has 8 state titles. He's done a great job up there. Really different, unique football than what we play, but styles make fights, and that's one thing that we're looking to tangle with. Then we come back week 3, we play Francis Howell, who's always a state contender here in the Class 6 in the state of Missouri. And then we really get uncomfortable. We go into a hostile environment that the school has never been in, and in history we go down and we play St. Augustine in New Orleans, who has the number 1 player in the country in the 2026 class. High-level alums the Honey Badger, they had Leonard Fournette. They just had a ton of talent. So we're looking to definitely push that this year, and then we come back and we play DeSmet. We have Bishop Engage that come out of Kansas, who's a well-known program, and we have local powerhouses who are real good, and DeSmet and Lutheran North. So we have a full plate, right? And typically when you have a full plate, you can't hold that plate just with one hand. So just to being able to put both hands on it, we know what we head into. It's not a secret, and we just have to work. Last year was last year, the year before was the year before, and we're only as good as this year. So we just have to continue to progress, continue to get better, continue to develop. Not just on the field but off the field. I'm real big on the neck up piece, mentally. Just mentally being better than what we were last year will put us in a physically better position.
Yeah, and I didn't want to interrupt you there while you were trying to figure out, but I think, is it Nazareth Academy you play out of Illinois?
No, not Nazareth. It's oh man, I just wouldn't blank. I'm sorry.
I'll fix that up and put it in the story.
He's going to get upset with me, man. Coach Derek up there, I just went blank, Coach.
Oh, that's okay. Well, while you said, hang on one second here. I got to go dig into my archive here. Hang on one second.
You don't have to that long. I'm going to tell you right now. Rochester, I'm sorry. Rochester.
Coach Leonard. Yes. Coach Leonard.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, over at Rochester. Great job, man. Great program. Well coached up. Their alignment, they're going to be where they're supposed to be. They're going to make plays. I don't care what level, what class, what state. for you to win consecutive, you're talking. He's won 8 state titles.
Yep.
Right, and I might be shortchanged. I mean, it might be 9, but when you go against a team like that, a program like that, that speaks volume. Regardless of what people may think, what people may say, like winning state championships are not easy, and the only ones who think it's easy probably the ones who haven't won one. But it takes a lot of prepping, takes a lot of time. It takes a lot to go into building a championship team.
Yeah, no doubt. We've talked to Coach Leonard. His dad is the all-time winningest coach in the state of Illinois,
Absolutely.
and now his son's chasing after dad. I mean, that's a great program. So's Nazareth, by the way. Maybe you'll get them next year. Who knows? They won the 4A championship. Rochester won the 5A, or 5A versus 4A. Nazareth won the 5A, and Rochester won the 4A.
Rochester won the 4.
Yeah, there you go. A lot of good football being played there in the Midwest. Well, Coach, really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today, and continued success. Congratulations on what you've built, and I have a feeling as you continue to take this program in the direction it seems like you're going, we're going to be seeing you somewhere in those preseason rankings coming up here sometime soon in July, and you keep playing those big ones. Who knows? Top 100. you get. It's been a while since we had a Missouri team in the top there. I think CBC might have been the last team. They were there a couple of years ago. So maybe it'll be Cardinal Ritter this time around. But Coach, thanks for taking the time, and best of luck in 24.
Appreciate you. If anything else you need or something, please don't hesitate to reach out. So once again, thank you.
And that's the High School Football America podcast today. Don't forget the draft starts tomorrow, and the High School Football America NFL Draft Tracker is back. We've been doing it now. This will be the 10th year. We track where every pick, all 257, played their high school football. Lots of great stuff on the website at highschoolfootballamerica.com all weekend for the draft. Don't forget to always keep up with us on social media. You can get us on Twitter. HSFB America is the handle. On Facebook and Instagram, it's High School Football America. There's so many ways to get your high school football news, and the best part is we do not have paywalls. We do not require subscriptions. All of the content is free. We are here for the high school football fan. The High School Football America podcast is brought to you by NFL Play Football. Hey, coaches, don't forget to check out playfootball.nfl.com for some great resources to help you improve in a coaching profession. That's the High School Football America podcast, and I'm Jeff Fisher.